Trace. The official name for the remote-controlled drones we know and love/hate is UAVs, or unmanned aerial vehicles. Most flying drones operate for 20 hours and are pre-programmed to fly to a specific area and look around, or are piloted for a mission by a person in a ground station. The military controls these giant aircraft from hundreds of miles away via satellite communications, GPS, and the aircraft's onboard computers. This combination of ground and space-based systems can affect how long information takes to get from the pilot or to the pilot. Those predators.
Most UASs or drones today are enabled with 360-degree live video view through direct control from a tower or an antenna with a pilot on the ground flying it and telling it what to do. Also, they're enabled with satellite control if there's a longer mission or they're flying out of radar of an antenna or a tower. The only downfall of this is that it has a 1-second delay. But also on UASs today, there's line of sight control for takeoff and landing. So if a UAS loses control or loses signal, it can be either programmed to fly around in a circle, or it can be programmed to fly back to where it had taken off and land by itself or fly until the signal is recovered. Within the drone or UAS realm, there's two separate types. There's macro and micro drones. Micro drones are actually usually about 5 pounds and cost not much more than $1,000 to produce. They are also enabled with a 360-degree video, infrared and radar capabilities if wanted and installed in it. They have electric motors, so they're less weight and have a longer battery life that you can charge back up, and much smaller since obviously there's no pilot. They would need to be much smaller, bigger than this. Data is sent in to and from it with a data link, which is encrypted for protection, which has a transmitter and a receiver actually built up inside of the drone, and a transmitter power which will send data a certain amount of distance. They can also be programmed if signal is lost to just hover, or they can also have GPS ability, so they can have a certain flight plan programmed in a certain areas that it's meant to video, so it can only fly a specific route, and normally fly up to 35 knots, which is pretty fast. Macro drones, unlike micro drones, are much more expensive and are much less common in the typical world today, other than military use. These are for weaponry or for surveillance. As many people know, they were crucial in the role of taking down Osama bin Laden. They have the same or even better video capability just because they're larger and they can store more videos or have better camera qualities installed. They can travel much farther and much faster and have better signal than a micro drone just because they are bigger and they can have better motors, although it does take a long time and is much more expensive to produce these and have many more parts and sensors and rotors just installed in it, as well as the cost to use it, since it costs a lot more for fuel than an electronic motor installed in a micro drone, which are commonly being thought to take the place of helicopters, since they can travel and transmit data back and forth, except for the other practical use of helicopters is transporting people, which a micro drone couldn't do being so small. But they are thought to be able to hopefully soon transport packages such as Amazon is looking to with their drone delivery, which would be a large advancement and which enable much less cost to move things back and forth at a quicker rate.